Go in your bathroom right now and look on the label of your toothpaste. It would say, do not swallow. If swallowed, call poison control. Wait a second. Why are they allowing us to put something in our mouths if it's poisonous? But I have a much bigger question. Why are we not allowed to swallow toothpaste, but we are allowed to drink fluoridated water every single day of our lives? When we're talking about fluoride in our water supply, you can't control the dose. You can't opt out of it. If you have city water, it's going to come in your shower. It's going to be in your drinking water. This is water that goes into our children, our babies, athletes who drink more water, and sick people as well. I mean, you almost have to step back and go, what the heck is going on with this? So let's first talk about what fluoride can actually do to someone. You can actually get something called dental fluorosis. This is a developmental defect of tooth enamel that happens when kids are exposed to too much fluoride. And it happens when the teeth are developing. You'll see these little white spots, these lines, kind of a chalky enamel. I had this growing up. And this is the shocking part. At the so-called optimum level of fluoride in the water, around 40% of kids show some level of fluorosis. And about 1 in 8 are also bothered by the way their teeth look. So someone decided that a certain amount of fluoride in our water that causes enamel damage is acceptable. Yes, fluoride is intended to help prevent cavities, but of course they don't even talk about the real cause of cavities, which is sugar and starches, but that's a whole different topic. But what is the other benefit of fluoride? There is none. It gets absorbed in the mouth systemically from the toothpaste. And not only that, when you're drinking the water, it gets into the body systemically to every single organ, and it accumulates. It also sucks up into your pineal gland. The pineal gland is where you make melatonin. It has the ability to affect the receptors of your thyroid. It goes into your bones. It goes into the kidneys. This fluoride doesn't just stay in your mouth and affect your teeth. In the U.S. National Toxicology Program, governmental scientists have reviewed the data for decades. And what was their conclusion? Higher fluoride exposure is consistently associated with lower IQ in children. This is not speculation. This is government scientists saying this. A lot of people don't realize that you don't just get fluoride from the toothpaste, from drinking water. It's also in coffee, tea, sodas, juice, all made with fluoridated water. We really can't control the dose. Athletes drink more. Babies on formula get more per pound of body weight. People with kidney issues can't clear it out as effectively. Yet we treat fluoride like everyone is getting the same dose. And what really gets me is like babies without teeth are getting this fluoride. What is it doing to their brains? And if they're consuming baby formula, it's even worse because they're getting more concentrated fluoride. And so really, we're medicating our entire population for the sake of preventing some cavities in the US, because in certain European countries, they've banned this fluoridation in the water supply. Only in America. So fluoride was added back in the 40s, back when we didn't really use fluoride in our toothpaste, okay? It wasn't a universal thing. We didn't actually consume as much processed food. The total exposure was far less than what it is now. But someone had this bright idea, hey, let's put fluoride in the water supply. So you might be thinking, well, okay, the fluoride that they're using is food grade, right? It's safer. Well, most water systems don't use pharmaceutical grade or food grade, because I don't even think there is a food grade fluoride. They're using a different form of fluoride. It's a byproduct of phosphate fertilizer production. I could imagine someone just had this bright idea. What are we going to do with all the industrial waste? Oh, I have a good idea. Let's use it to stop cavities. In fact, let's put it into the water supply and we'll get everyone to agree on it and we'll be able to prevent all these cavities. It'll be a huge, great thing for society. And you see this also with other industries, with the corn industry. And someone had a really good idea with what we can do with the waste. Well, we can make high fructose corn syrup with it. We can make maltodextrin and use it as a filler in foods. We can even make modified cornstarch to help the texture and the mouthfeel of certain foods. It's cheap calories, and that way you can use the whole product. I mean, this next one will blow you away. Sewage sludge. In the industry that deals with sewage treatment, okay, you have to do something with the sewage, right? Well, someone had a bright idea, and they turned it into, they call it biosolids. And they wanted to come up with the name of how can we position this to make it sound like it's not very dangerous. And they came up with biosolids. And this is what you see when you buy your fertilizer for your plants or even your garden. What you're getting is you're getting this sewage sludge. Now what they say is they treat it in a way to make it safe. How are you going to process it to take sewage sludge and get rid of the toxicity? I want to know. Also with the petroleum industry, all the different byproducts. You have food dyes, you have medications, drugs, they have all sorts of things. And even the seed oil industry, back in the day, they used it for fuel, for lamps, and then someone had a great idea. Let's use it for cooking oil. Yeah, we'll put it in the food supply and we can sell it and people will use it and we can even convince people that it's healthy. Well, guess what? Decades later, we're finally uncovering what seed oil really does for the body, and it's not as heart healthy as we've been told. So in summary, if fluoride works mainly on the surface of the teeth, why are we delivering it as a swallowed drug to the entire body, especially to infants? So what is the solution? A water filter. But here's the problem. You can't just use a regular carbon filter to pull out fluoride, okay? You have to have something especially designed for it. In my house, I had to get a special filter to pull fluoride out. You can use reverse osmosis. You can also distill the water and pull it out, but you have to find a filter that specifically is certified for fluoride reduction. And if it doesn't specifically say it's filtering out fluoride, then find one that does, because the general water filters don't do that. At the very least, you can get a countertop filter or even something for your shower that pulls out fluoride, because the fluoridated water can even turn into a gas and kind of get into your body that way as well. So in other words, your shower could be spraying on your skin, affecting the skin, and it does create irritation on your skin, but also get internally through the heat and the gas. Now, since we're on the topic of water, I have something even more interesting on this topic in this video right here. Check it out.